Hello, fellas and ladies. DGA, the Directors Guild Awards, and the PGA, the Producers Guild Awards, are on Saturday. These aren't going to take that much time, so I thought I might as well do a prediction video on it. Correct choice predictions are going to be on my Twitter account, at Adriano Caporusso. I don't typically like to do a prediction video for that, just because I feel like I'm constantly repeating myself, and it gets annoying. So I just type it out. I don't want to edit. But without further ado, I'll be quick, because, again, there's only 3 categories I'm doing. Start off with DGA first time. This is obviously going to be Ramel Ross. Violet Cabadia is not going to win. She's the only, actual alternative, but, this is going to be Ramel Ross. It's the movie nominated for Best Picture. It's the most flashy direction. I think even if Nickel Boys wasn't picture nominated, we'd be saying Ramel Ross anyway. And then we got DGA Best Director. I think this is a little obvious. Brady Corbet is looking really solid to just go ahead and sweep the whole thing. I don't really see what I thought maybe Jacques Audiard. I don't really know what the voting period ended, if it was before or after all the Carla Sofia Gascon stuff happened. That was the only alternative in my mind, and that's Jacques Audiard. I don't really think Sean Baker has a shot at this. James Mangold to be a meme. Brady Corbet, it just feels like a pretty obvious pick, you get being able to pull off what he pulled off. It's a very obvious, movie for a director to get behind. And it feels like this is just going to be a sweep for Corbet. I don't think it's quite Nolan obvious, where it's Nolan won before the season even began. But I do think it's pretty clear that Corbet is probably just going to sweep, go one by one. And then DGA ain't going to be an exception. Now on to PGA. This is where we get into depth, because I have only been filming for 3 minutes. DGA was not hard. So right off the bat, I think we can very safely remove September 5 and A Real Pain from the equation. That seems clear. Not nominated for Best Picture. That's all I gotta say. And then I think we all agree Dune will not win, which is stupid, but here we are. The Substance is looking pretty likely to just lose. And I'm gonna say something a little controversial. I don't think Wicked is going to win. Wicked is just not what wins PGA. Simply, I know there's an idea of no, it's a crowd pleaser, it's huge, it's gonna win, it checks the boxes. Just typically speaking, they don't go for these fantasy blockbusters. That doesn't really happen. They typically are in line with what typically wins Best Picture, or what's in the competition to win Best Picture. 9 times out of 10, the Best Picture winner, their streak doesn't start at PGA. Most of the time. I think even Coda won SAG first. What I'm trying to say is a lot of the time PGA falls in line. Now, granted, PGA feels like it's happening earlier than usual. That could play a part in what happens. And maybe it's right now all we have is that The Brutalist and Emilia Perez won the Globe, and then depending on what wins Critics' Choice, which is probably going to be Brutalist or Nora. I just don't think it's going to be Wicked. I don't think people are going to try and say Wicked. I don't buy it. I buy Complete Unknown more. I do feel like Completely Unknown guys kind of check that box of I've been a little scared of the possibility. I don't think it's going to happen. Let me be clear. I'm pretty set in stone that it won't happen, but there's a back of my head part of me wondering if a Complete Unknown is going to start winning stuff. But I don't even think Chalamet is going to win, so I don't think I really need to entertain it that much. But I will say that I do feel that a Complete Unknown has a shot here. We got Conclave, which a lot of people are going to predict. I think Conclave is behind a Complete Unknown. I don't know. I keep on seeing this. I really don't buy this Conclave winning Best Picture thing that people are trying to do, honestly. People go, oh, the preferential ballot's going to be really good for Conclave. And I go, why? Is it, though? Is it really going to get all the 1, 2, 3 votes? I don't really know that many people where it's I feel like you need the number 1 votes, and I don't think Conclave's going to get those in spades. I don't think it's quite obvious that Conclave is going to do great on a preferential ballot, and again, I don't really know. I think if Conclave loses PGA, that's the end of the road for it. Any shot it had is just... And Nora I don't really buy either. I'm really just kind of looking at The Brutalist and Emilia Perez, although I do think that there is path for a Complete Unknown for a Nora and kind of Conclave. I might put a Complete Unknown at number 3, honestly. That's the one that's scaring me the most. But I do think it's going to be either Brutalist or Emilia Perez. A Nora is too small to win PGA. It's going to do well on a preferential ballot, I do agree, but I think PGA wouldn't do that without cause, and I do think that Globe shutout did speak volumes. I feel like there's no momentum for Honora right now. But again, PGA happening earlier than usual could mean a bit of a shakeup. So let's talk about Brutalist and Emilia Perez. Emilia Perez. Now, I want to make something really clear. That the voting happened before, the voting closed, I believe, as, the fucking Carlos Sofia Gascon stuff was starting to really take off. I don't think it really affected it that much. Emilia Perez will not win Best Picture at the Oscars. That's done. Our prayers have been answered. We can stop it. I'm predicting I'm still here to win International Feature. That's my fucking little secret. Like, if Emilia Perez won PGA, genuinely, my reaction would be, oh, well, I'd blip it out of existence. I'd pretend, I'd be like, I guess PGA doesn't factor this year. That said, here, I can see it happening. I do think that it's possible that, like, Emilia Perez was on track to win. Like, here, I think it had the momentum on its side. I do think there is something to say about the fact that after the Best Picture nominees came out, that's when Emilia Perez started to hit a real, like, wall. Like, that's when the hate really started, like, to grow, and it wasn't until the Carlos Sofia Gascon controversy that it all came crumbling down. I do wonder how much of that affected it. I can't imagine the answer is none at all, but I do think that it does check some PGA boxes. That's it. Are we, International Feature winning PGA? Are we sure? That's why I'm going with The Brutalist. I do think The Brutalist is on track right now. I do think it has the momentum on its side. It's a small movie, but it's big in scale, so I do think that it can survive that. I also can definitely see producers being really impressed with what they pulled off with so little. It just makes sense to me. I don't know. Talking about The Brutalist sweeping just feels a little incorrect. Is it really just gonna steamroll the whole season? Maybe Brody does. Maybe Corbet does. I don't know. Is this movie? It's like picture just lock every step of the way except for SAG. It's possible, but I feel like something's gonna take it along the way. Or maybe the fact that SAG Ensemble's not doing it is the bump. It does kind of feel like people are just kind of walking over eggshells just to justify not predicting The Brutalist to win Best Picture. Even people who love the movie are just kind of ignoring the signs. So I'm just going to say that The Brutalist is going to win PGA. Looking out for Emilia Perez, kind of looking out for a complete unknown. I don't think Honora is going to happen. I don't think Conclave is going to happen. But that's what we're dealing with. But that is all that. That's what we're dealing with. Like, subscribe, and share. Bye-bye. Let's pray for The Brutalist and not for Emilia Perez.